Good morning, everyone. We have Sarah here, personal trainer from UK, and Greg, the director of economic thinking, who kindly accepted our invitation to continue with this series of podcasts. And today we're thinking to talk a little bit about the benefits and challenging of the home workouts, because we all know that when the pandemic hit, we kind of need to shift it to an online training and stay in the house. So everything was, we were forced to stay in lockdown, therefore everything was affected, our lifestyle, eating habits, and our workouts. So, Sarah, I know at this point you were on the verge of actually starting your own personal training business. And I was curious if you can tell us how this affected your project, shifting to online and home workouts. What this meant to you and to your business as well.
Yeah, like as you mentioned, literally, I only finished my qualification a couple of months before the lockdown hit, and I thought at first, isn't it couldn't have been any better timing. So how isn't it? I'm trying to apply for a job in March, and everything shut down by the end of it. But it actually gave me the chance to build my business, which much sooner than I expected. I started off training with friends and family because I have been still all new to me. I didn't have any experience. So starting on online was definitely something completely new to me and also overwhelming because I haven't done anything like this before. And the social media presence was quite challenging. But definitely now, 2 years later, I conquered that, I would say.
Nice. So you had actually, from your point of view, it was a positive experience.
It definitely was, yeah, because my original plan was to apply as a personal trainer in health clubs, and I wouldn't even have started setting up my own business, but that gave me the chance to do it literally much earlier within the first couple of months then of lockdown.
Yeah. And the liberty. And we know that when it comes to a business model, of course, it's the beauty of having flexibility, as you mentioned, and positive aspects, but it's also hard on the other side, and you're facing challenges. And that's one of the challenge that I can see here, and we can see here, are the clients, because, you're working with more disciplined clients who respect your schedule. And I can say, this is me. I respect the schedule that Sarah gives, and the workout, but there are others who are less disciplined, right? So I'm sure in your daily work, you encounter this type of clients. What's your trick, or you as a personal trainer, to do to motivate your clients to stay on a track?
Yeah, almost would say that I don't really have the problem to motivate the clients throughout the session, or for them to show up to the session. What I find the most challenging is keeping them motivated between the sessions. This is then where it starts. And I using little mini challenges. This could be, for example, like a running challenge, a push-up challenge, or like I do at the moment, it's the 12-week healthy habit challenge. But I do as well, one of the good things as a PT, or if you work together with a PT, is the accountability. I think that makes a big step. And in fact, that people already made that step and signed up shows me that the motivation is there. They're eager. They want to work out. So, and then of course, I'm trying to keep things as well, mixing it up a little bit. So it keeps, keep it up, mixing it up so everyone stays interested.
And to round about that challenge, actually, Sarah, Greg, and for the audience, provided us with a great challenge. Last week we had healthy snacks, and everybody was actually putting their ideas out there, which was quite interesting. And this time it's the steps. So actually, I increased my 10,000 to 12,000, and yesterday I managed. Today I'm planning as well. So that's great actually to motivate, and I think that's a great trick that I didn't hear from a lot of personal trainers, but I think it's a great trick out there to use.
Yeah.
And I know there, and for me, for example, I used to go to the gym, but since with the lockdown, I kind of got used with my home workouts and online workouts. But of course, there's some benefits and challenges as well. What do you think? What type of exercise do you think people should do to obtain similar results as they would obtain when they go to a gym? What are the tricks here? Do you think they're still effective, those home workouts, online workouts, or not quite?
All right, that's a lot of questions, a lot of little bits. So let's break it down a bit. Every form of exercise is beneficial, and everyone should do what they enjoy. Like if that's cardio, strength training, yoga, or Pilates, for example. When it comes to home workouts, one of the challenges I find is the increased risk of injury, especially if you're new to exercise and you're training by yourself. A good form is literally the foundation, and it's important to carry out exercises correctly in order to prevent harm. And I do encourage my clients, especially my online clients, to send me a video of their technique and form of that specific exercise, and so I can then give them feedback and correct them if necessary. I do think you can achieve similar goals, similar results with working out from home. But then, of course, if your goal is to build muscle mass, then you probably want to add a bit more equipment. You definitely need that equipment at home. But but if it's you, it's all based on what you put in, how much work you put in. Like if you pushing yourself and you show up, then the results will follow. And then when it comes to these examples of exercises, like if we, for example, done a back squat or leg press in the gym, then you can do easy way, just doing a squat at home, adding a backpack or filling it up with water bottles, with books, for example, and then quite a nice little trick. Or if you've done the bench press, for example, a press up will be a great body weight variation. So, and then you can, of course, again, add some time under tension, add a backpack to it. There are lots of ways to make that a little bit more challenging.
Right. That's a great trick. I would never have thought of that. So since we actually brought this up, I would like to shift to Greg right now. I know that during pandemic, United States was also hit hard by the pandemic. So Greg, what did you do to keep yourself active? How did you manage to incorporate those 10,000 daily steps? And were you doing home workouts, or how that worked for you?
Well, a lot of walking for me. So it's my face comes up on your screen, by the way. It's not on mine. So anyway, a lot of walking, and we've got some hills where I am, so I can walk down to the beach and back, things like that. I've got equipment outside, and I do get some exercise moving it from place to place, but I haven't actually gotten the habit of using it. I have some barbells, dumbbells that I use, and I try and do every other day 3 sets of 8 of curls and press up. But I've got a nice fly machine that I got a couple decades ago, and I use that. It feels good, but I'm not using it as regularly. So I'm having the trouble. When I'd go to the gym, I wouldn't feel like exercising until I actually parked the car and walked in the gym. And being there, suddenly I would be capable of getting on the machines and then playing basketball. I haven't been able to manage that transition here the same way of going out and working with the machines for 30 minutes or an hour. I do it sometimes, but it's always like next week. So, here's my problem. I don't have a personal trainer. So I'm on my own trying to figure this out.
So I guess that's the trick out there, but you still manage to get those 10,000 steps daily, right?
I usually get those steps, sometimes more, sometimes less. And I have a friend that I walk with, and I exercise my mouth along with my legs during our walk. So that keeps me going. So
that's what keeps you motivated.
Yeah, it helps. He'll call me to say, you want to go for a walk, or I'll text him. And so we usually do that every other day. And then I listen to podcasts when I walk. I'm mostly into nutrition and public health stuff, but so the podcasts, I used to run when I was a jog when I listen to music, but the podcasts don't quite get me jogging. So I'm usually walking when I'm listening to podcasts.
Right. Yeah. For me, it's also how I see the exercise, and I try to daily manage those steps. It's, for example, running. This Sunday I went, and to be honest, I kind of went for, I think, 21K, but that's because it's a form of releasing the stress and the bad or negative thoughts. So that might help as well. People who might have that stress accumulated, they can just start going running and or walking, and you'll discover that this actually releases the stress and helps you to keep moving and bring some positive vibes out there. Thank you, Greg, for that tip. And I'm going to shift again to Sarah, because we see that people are changing the preferences. And some of them, due to time constraints, they actually opt for home workouts. It's also more comfortable. They don't have to commute. So you as a personal trainer, what type of recommendation would you give them to keep those a balanced diet with a good home workout? I guess I want to ask, is that better to train in the morning or on an empty stomach? Is there any recommendation that you could give them?
Yeah, first of all, definitely home workouts are great, isn't it? You save the time traveling to and from the gym as well. Now you have so many choices. Whatever you want to do, you find that online with any type of length, what suits you. And definitely, if you starting off, it's always good to start slow and build it up gradually as well. Always thinking about the form, even though if you're looking maybe just working together with a PT for a couple of sessions, just so you can build that foundation and then go from there. When it comes up to training in the morning or on an empty stomach, or your glycogen levels in the liver are probably going to be depleted by the time the morning comes. If you had a bigger meal in the evening the night before, then you might not kind of feel like you really want to eat first thing in the morning. And I always think it depends on the person. I see that exactly, especially at home. Like me and my husband, we both are going always first thing in the morning to the gym. He's totally fine on nothing. He doesn't need anything, while I always have to have a snack before I go to the gym. And my definitely preference is always a banana if I have some. Otherwise an apple, but I couldn't get the workout done without any snacks. And I do see that as with clients as well. I just even noticed it today when clients are rushed or have no time to eat, like you can see the energy drop through a half an hour, 45 minutes in, and you don't get the same results. I definitely recommend, depending on how you are, maybe considering a small snack. It can be even half a banana, a cereal bar, even like a sports drink to get you a little bit of carbs, energy, and keeps you going. But yeah, I don't really think the time of the day it doesn't matter. Like what matters is here that you get your workout in and you get it done. And otherwise, I almost think that people, I noticed it in the gym, at my gym. I see it's much busier, especially since January and February, of course, the time of the year. But I think people are ready to train, to go out of the house and train with other people again. Like the same as well what Greg said, the motivation, once you're in the gym, you're just getting it done. Like it's just a different motivation because you're there for a reason. And while you're at home, isn't it, there's always so many things would take your mind off, like doing your exercises or get you distracted, or you go just short, 10 minutes. While you would there in the gym, you would dedicate a certain amount of time and you just get more done. But still, home workouts are brilliant. So it's better getting your workout in if that's a 10-15 minutes. It's just a great way. Yeah.
Right. And would you recommend something after the workout to eat, or for example, I don't know, after maybe half an hour, something like a protein to build the muscles, or it depends on the exercise as well?
No, I think it's just depending on the person. Some people need to refuel. They need some energy right away. And when it comes to protein, I only would recommend protein if they don't get enough through their diet. So if they don't have, I always recommend a bit of protein with every meal, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if then of course, there's not enough, then maybe I would suggest extra protein shake to fill it up. Or if someone is on a vegan diet or vegetarian diet, sometimes that's lacking a little bit in protein. But otherwise, as well, great snacks here, banana or a cereal bar, or you can, of course, then have your lunch. But depending as well, sometimes you want to wait a little bit longer. It depends on how you feel. And yeah. But lots of people want to sometimes refuel right away. I'm definitely always quite hungry when I finish, so I'm ready to eat.
You're ready to go out there.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I see. Perfect. Oh, I learned quite a few things. I actually thought that always after a workout, after 30-40 minutes, you kind of have to have some protein just to build the muscle that you're destroying during the exercise. But it's good to know from a personal trainer point of view that that's not quite true, right? So because there are so many studies and debates out there, but I guess, as you mentioned, it's tailored to everybody's body.
Yeah.
Greg, I just want to finish this podcast asking you, are you going to sign for a personal trainer? What's your goal for 2022 in terms of exercising and strength exercise and homework exercises?
I probably should. In the books that I read, they emphasize the emphasize stretching for flexibility. I've got a book, 12 core strength exercises for seniors as I now approach the senior years. So I need to do some of that, but it's getting started, and maybe a personal trainer is the best way. My sister sent me an app that she recommends. So there's a bunch of different things. I would usually play basketball when I exercise, and my sort of theory of life is if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. If it's not a game. So games motivate me, and basketball got me up there. And then I lifted weights between games and before games to warm up. So finding some sort of fun activity would help me. Of course, now I'm mowing the lawn is one of my main exercises every so often, and cleaning up the house gets my steps because I've got a ton of stuff to do. So there's that kind of exercise. I guess I'd ask the question too, people working at home in a job where they're typing and Zooming and things like that, should we be getting up once an hour and doing 10 minutes of moving around, or can we fit our exercise in during the day in little bits, or should we stop and have an hour where we're full speed exercising as if we were going to a gym, but doing that at home?
That's a good question, and I think it is good. I think for everyone, after 1 hour or 1.5, 2 hours, I think you're ready to move. And sometimes it's quite good to set yourself an alarm, just maybe to be reminded to get up. Maybe then as well, instead of getting your, for example, your steps in, choose toilets which are further away, or go up and down the stairs, and just to get a little bit of steps in. As well, you could as well mix up your. It's always because when you want to do a workout, you want to warm up, and lots of people just think, if they have only 5 minutes, they go right away in, which also increases the risk of injury. So I think just dedicating better 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and then just doing your workout either in your lunch break or in the morning or after, because otherwise if you just go quickly, then we're forgetting about it. And then stretching afterwards, which is quite important. I think it's just good to get your steps in throughout the day when you're sitting, even having little chair stretches or desk stretches. There's quite a few, which is probably quite nice, just to loosen it all up, because we can feel the weight on the shoulders. So I think being reminded to go for your steps is quite important throughout the day. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'm going to set the alarm. Good and great tips out there.
Yeah.
Thank you both. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Greg. I actually take quite a few recommendations, and I'm going to right now set my alarm because I have a smartwatch. So I'm going to set that every hour to beep so that I can move around, because today I'm working from home. So that's a good tip and tip to start the day. And we will definitely come back with another podcast. Sarah, we want to learn more in our next podcast about your business, how you attract clients, how was what this meant to you, because that's the new world, and it's a challenging. It's a lot of competition out there. So therefore, we're really interested to learn more and to deepen a little bit more into this. But we'll deepen more on our next podcast. And as I like to conclude always with that phrase that we use a lot in Europe, mente sana in corpore sano, right? Healthy mind in a healthy body.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you all, and I look forward for our next podcast.